July 1690. River Boyne. 2 kings, 1 muddy river, 0 chance of a peaceful chat. This is the Battle of the Boyne, fought near Drogheda, an event huge in scale, huge in consequence, and definitely not as simple as good guys versus bad guys. If history had a movie trailer voice, this is where it would boom in a world of crowns, cannon, and catastrophic decisions. And yes, everyone ignored the weather forecast. To understand this battle, rewind to the Glorious Revolution. James II is pushed out. William of Orange takes the throne. James does not accept retirement and a quiet life of gardening, so he heads to Ireland to fight for his crown. The Boyne is not random chaos. It is the armed sequel to a constitutional crisis, with muskets. Our cast is strong. King James II, deposed but determined, versus King William III, newly crowned and very motivated to stay that way. Both kings are physically present because 17th century leadership often meant standing near the part where people were shooting at each other. The stakes are dynastic, political, religious, and unmistakably European. The armies are enormous by Irish standards. William commands a larger force, James a smaller but still serious one. This is the biggest battle ever fought on Irish soil. William's army is multinational too, Dutch, Danish, Huguenot, English, Scottish, and Irish units. Less one uniform machine, more a coalition project with live ammunition. And this is the key point people miss. The Boyne is not just an Irish story. It sits inside the wider 9 Years' War, where coalitions across Europe are trying to contain Louis XIV's France. What happens on this riverbank matters in Dublin and London, yes, but also in Paris and across the continent. Local battlefield, international consequences. Before the main clash even starts, William is wounded while scouting crossing points. Not fatal, but dramatic enough to trigger rumors. So the campaign opens with confusion, nerves, and misinformation. In other words, exactly like modern crises, just with slower communication and faster horses. At dawn, Williamite troops move upstream in a flanking action, threatening James's position. It is classic pressure warfare. Stretch the defense, force choices, create uncertainty. James now faces the commander's nightmare. Too many threats, too little certainty. Commit too soon and expose the center. Wait too long and lose the flank. Then the main crossing at Oldbridge erupts. Infantry push through water under musket fire. Lines compress. Units tangle. Officers shout themselves hoarse, trying to make order out of mud, smoke, and panic. Rivers look calm in paintings. In battle, they're liquid bottlenecks where timing decides everything. Cavalry fighting turns brutal and close. Charges and countercharges rip across slippery ground. Pistols flash at near point-blank range. Formations break, reform, and break again. None of this is neat textbook choreography. It is momentum, discipline, fear, and luck colliding every few minutes. Then comes one of the day's biggest shocks. The Duke of Schomberg, one of William's most senior commanders, is killed. Leadership loss hits hard in real time. Morale dips. Command chains wobble. The battle keeps moving, but now the cost is immediate and personal, not abstract. William's side gradually gains the edge through coordination, better drilled infantry, steadier fire discipline, stronger integration between infantry and cavalry. Not flashy, just effective. This is warfare becoming system-driven, less heroic single charge, more repeatable battlefield method. James's army retreats, but this is not an instant total collapse. Rearguard actions buy time and prevent full encirclement. That matters. A destroyed army ends wars quickly. A battered army that escapes keeps wars alive. At the Boyne, defeat still leaves resistance possible. James falls back towards Dublin and then departs for France. Politically, that is devastating for Jacobite momentum. Armies can recover from lost ground. Recovering confidence after a king exits is harder. The campaign's center of gravity shifts fast. Now for the paradox. The Boyne is a Williamite victory, but not a one-day war-ending knockout. Casualties are significant, but not apocalyptic for a battle this size, and the Jacobite field army is not annihilated. So, yes, politically decisive, but militarily less final in the immediate sense. History often works like that, messy at close range, clearer at distance. The heavier military blow lands later at Aughrim in 1691, one of the bloodiest battles fought in Ireland. That is where Jacobite resistance is shattered at scale. If the Boyne opens the door, Aughrim kicks it off the hinges. After Aughrim, Limerick holds out, then surrenders under treaty terms in October 1691. That effectively ends the war in Ireland. So the Boyne is best understood as the turning point, not the final scene. The credits don't roll in July 1690. Strategically, the Boyne helps stabilize William's rule and keeps English and Allied resources aligned against France in the wider European conflict. In plain terms, one river battle helps shape coalition strength across the continent. That's why historians still treat it as a major event. Then there's memory. The Boyne doesn't stay in 1690. It becomes symbol, ritual, and argument. Commemorations grow, interpretations clash, identities harden around competing stories. The battlefield's afterlife is almost as powerful as the battle itself. So, what's the takeaway? Myth says one clean showdown solved everything in a day. Reality says complex campaign, multinational armies, layered motives, incomplete tactical finality, and huge long-term political consequences. The Boyne is exactly the kind of event that punishes simple explanations. Today, the River Boyne is quiet. The debates are not. The battle began as a fight over crowns, strategy, and survival. Its legacy became a continuing story about identity, memory, and power. If this helped, subscribe for the next deep dive where we separate battlefield reality from legend without removing the drama, just the bad history, because the past is complicated, and honestly, that's what makes it worth watching.